Hey Trey, how you doing? Thank you so much for submitting your edited version here. I just want to take a look at your writing real quick. Second time I've ever used InDesign, the learning experience, and I'm so glad that you're learning how to do this. The InDesign is the program of choice for layout design in professional graphic design. So I mean, it's really important to learn as much about InDesign as you possibly can. And it certainly seems in this basic introductory course that you are picking up quite a bit. So that's fantastic. I was really pleased to read that. And also we have a little bit on your trifold. And you're exactly right here. This is exactly correct. I mean, this is exactly what we're looking to do in a trifold brochure. You don't want to tell the whole story. You don't want to provide any unnecessary information. Just enough to pick the viewer's attention and curiosity to look further into the brochure, as well as to go out and find more information on the organization. So great job. Good job with your written summary here. Let's go ahead and jump right over. I've got your right here. All right, this is really good work. I mean, the typesetting is fantastic. You did exactly what I was looking for. Exactly. That is a gorgeous typeset right there. Absolutely, without question. So great job. Your justified type settings are absolutely gorgeous. Good job. That's fantastic. I'm really impressed you were able to make these adjustments and do so quickly. And speaking of quickly, I think it's important to mention that turnaround time for a designer is pretty important. I would never say to a student, hey, you have to hurry up, you have to hurry up, you have to hurry up. But in the studio setting, it's a little bit different. I mean, I regularly communicate with my designers and the people I collaborate with and the people that work with me and say, I'm constantly, literally on a daily basis saying deadlines, 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 got to get it done, deadlines. As we know, the kiss of death for a graphic designer is missing a deadline. So deadlines are so important in this industry and in this field. So to be able to turn around quickly and present like you've done here, I think it was just a matter of a day or so when you got this back to me, and that's fantastic. And that is directly relevant to your upcoming career as a design, in that designers that work quickly are more valuable to an organization's bottom line, therefore become subject to promotion more quickly and more often than designers that don't work quite as quickly. So really fantastic job there. Okay. All right, so I want to jump into the brochure itself, and let's just go ahead and take a look at some things. So what do we have here? The paragraphs are great, man. Those are just gorgeous. Fantastic job there. Okay, a few things I want to mention. Now, the truly make-believe, the front of the brochure, I think if you were to create a tagline. Now, listen, I also want to address something, and for those of you who are listening along, Trent is interested in using this as a professional piece to represent truly make-believe. So a lot of my comments, I want to address that. So right now we're going to assemble this as it is strictly a student project and not something that is possibly going to be used by the organization, because the organization is going to have specifications that they want this design to follow. However, for our school assignment, that could possibly, theoretically, and feasibly be a different set of recommendations. Okay, so the reason I say that, Trey, is because maybe your client doesn't want a tagline here, but for the objectives and the outcomes of this class, every comment I'm going to make here from here on is relevant to the course objectives, the assignment objectives, and the assignment outcomes. Okay, so that said, I would move this up a little bit, the logo, move it up a little bit in the composition and add a tagline, something that will really pick the viewers' interest to open this brochure up and look through a little further. One thing I notice here is this logo is presented differently than this logo. And boy, this is definitely, this is a different angle than this. This seems to be more of an angle. If you take a look at the angle of the bottom of Believe, that's not an extreme angle like that. So your logo presentation has got to be identical. Okay, so we talked about the front. Let's talk about the back panel. Now, the back panel, quite theoretically, is the most difficult panel to design. And typically, it's because that's where the contact information goes. So That said, I recommend that you add the client's, not only the social media information, but also the client's physical address, website, fax number if there is one, URL, any sort of a contact email or anything like that. Okay, that all needs to go on the back panel. I also recommend, instead of use, that's a link right there, and this is a print piece. So this is not applicable. You can just place the Facebook logo here, and I think people are savvy enough to know that if you do a search on Facebook, you just search for Truly Make Believe, and it'll take you to their page once you get on Facebook. So just including the Facebook icon is enough. And so keep that in mind. Now, again, referring to the back panel here, I think it would be very interesting to take this logo out of its background and present it on a white, just a little playful difference. It's not going to affect branding at all. It's a very common practice to extract logo from any kind of a color background it may be applied on and present it on a different background. So in this case, I'm recommending just place it on the white background here. Increase the size of the logo just a little bit. I'm going to show you an example in a second. Then include your contact. I mean, you could even say contact information right here, or contact us, exclamation point. Colon. And then down here, include your contact information and your icons for social media. Let me show you an example I think is really, really effective for the back of a brochure. Something like this formula right here, where you have the logo, you have contact us, the contact information, and the social media icons. Okay, so definitely keep that in mind for the back panel. Now, as far as the rest goes, we got a couple of things now in the front front of the brochure here. We've got these kind of headlines here. I'm not real sure if this is the best thing to do, is place these in these boxes. And the reason is because they're creating a little bit of a separation from the page. So this, by placing this in a box, theoretically is what you're doing, because each one of these is basically a box, because you have these thick borders on the top and the bottom of the text. Kind of isolates that section from the rest. So I would recommend, from the rest of the composition, so I would recommend removing the boxes and placing the type in the blue. I noticed that this blue is a little different than the blue you're using. You might want to reinforce branding by using the same color blue for your type as you are from the logo. This is reversed type, meaning that it is white type presented on a dark color background. Whenever you reverse type, you want to increase the tracking associated with the letters. So you want to increase the spaces between individual letters here. I would also, I don't think I would present these subheads in italic. I think I would just present them regular. Maybe even think about pulling these over and left aligning the headline and removing the color and removing the italics. Think about it. I think it's going to work, but think about it. Okay, one other thing about the front panel here. This seems to be a caption, but it's presented in the same typeset as the body copy. So what happens is we come down here and it almost looks like this is a continuation of this, but then we look at it and realize this is a caption associated with this image. So you want to change that to make it obvious that that is not body copy, but it is a caption. Also, I recommend using old style, small caps where applicable, and old style numerals, old style figures where applicable. If the old style figures, wherever there's numbers, small caps instead of all caps, wherever there is all caps presented. And if you're, be sure to review the video. That'll show you how that's in the announcements area. But if you don't have accessibility, if the typeface you're using doesn't have open type capabilities, it's really easy. You just come in here and reduce that by a couple picas or a point or so, just to bring it down a little bit so it's more in line with the actual lowercase body copy in the rest of the paragraph. Same thing with the numbers. If you don't have old style figures, just reduce that size a little bit. Okay, on to the next panel. I'm sorry, I'm taking a long time here. Okay, so this panel, I think this is neat. This is really cool. This kind of color background, it really brings things together. It's a great technique. However, for harmony, why don't we use this color right here for this blue? Okay, so we can kind of see the harmony in the front and the back. It's a little bit different. That's because based on color harmonies, and I think that this is a good idea to use this color as opposed to this darker color. Same comments with your typesetting here. Everything is the same as far as small, all caps, old style figures, etc. Same thing with the headlines. Here, though, right here, take that headline and bring it up here. Might as well align it, right? In graphic design, on a page composition, it's a really great rule to follow. Everything should align with something. This is so close to being aligned with the top of those images. It almost looks like a mistake that it's not, right? So you want to pull that up, whether you elect to remove the background box or not. You definitely want to bring that up and get that in alignment. And that'll eliminate this really kind of funky negative space right here. That shape is really uncomfortable. Okay, other than that, I think that's really all I have. So go ahead and apply those changes for your final composition, and I think that you're really doing nicely here. So fantastic job. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, clarifications, any of the above, you know the drill, Trey. I'm right here. Just get with me and let me know. And if you want to make these changes and resubmit before your final submission, that's great. I'll make further comments. Great job, Trey. Thank you very much.